Hi, good afternoon. This is Chris McSwain from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Bay Street Realty Group. And again, we're back today. I told you we would. We've got Dave to tell us about another part of his life. And this is pretty amazing to me to go from the service story that Dave explained earlier into an entrepreneurial role and a business owner here in Beaufort, South Carolina. So, Dave, tell us about your business and why you got into it. Let's start with that.
All right, we'll start with it. Again, a physical education major. Got involved with my ex-wife and I started a program here in Beaufort while we were stationed in the Marine Corps. We continued to operate that until '83. We had various locations in Beaufort, anywhere from we started used the old Green Street Gym. We had a place on Carteret for a while, and eventually we moved out for the last couple years before we discontinued it. We were at the Technical College of the Low Country's old gym, which was an outstanding facility for us. And then once we had a little difference of opinion, so I went my way and she went hers, and I went to grad school at George Washington University, where I coached women's gymnastics and women's volleyball. And then after that, I had my third part of my military career, and then when I retired, we came back to Beaufort and was trying to look to see what would be a good mix. I thought about maybe getting into education, finish my education degree and get certified. I was doing some work. Originally, I thought I was going to be the director of island gymnastics, which my ex-wife had started, and that didn't work out. So gave it a couple months, and then in April of '95, I established Sports Academy Gymnastics in a 1,600 square foot facility off of Depot Road.
And what's your square footage now, just to get to
our new square footage with this wonderful expansion will be 16,000 square feet.
Wow, so a tenfold increase in square footage.
And we actually went from that part on Depot Road. We were there for about a year, and then we worked a deal with the county right about the '96 Olympics.
Huh.
And we took over a warehouse. I renovated it, put air conditioning and heat in it, put bathrooms in it. It gave us about 6,000 square feet. And so we were there for about 10 years, and then as politics goes, something occurred, and they decided that they were going to basically discontinue their relationship with us. We always were BC pals, Sports Academy Gymnastics, everywhere we went. So the skating rink was out here, the old one out here on Laurel Bay. We needed to have a place to go, so we came out here and said, this is what we're going to do.
This is our home.
One of the interesting things about all this, and I have to mention this because the person that's allowed me to do this is my wife, Victoria. If it wasn't for Victoria's career working in civil service with the Navy and being extremely supportive of my hobby, we would not be doing this today. And I could have got a real job doing something. One of the other things that, as things have progressed, we like to think, and if you come out and take a look or look at some of the stuff on Facebook, that we have completely and constantly reinvested into equipment and programs for our youth. This 5,600 square foot addition was in an effort to provide greater space so we have more classes, less numbers in each class, and also begin to serve the cheer population as far as a training vehicle because they were underserved.
Gotcha.
We've had as many girls that have been competitive gymnasts go to college, and we've had about the same number of gymnasts go to college and be a cheerleader, so I thought maybe this would be a good opportunity. Over the years, we've had multiple state champions. Currently, we're one of the few gyms in what we call Region 8, which consists of South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana. I think that's all of them. Florida, I think. We go to a regional competition, and we have 2 regional champions on the diamond level, Excel diamond level on the uneven bars. So that's really plus we also have this year in our competitive program, we also have a level 4 all-around state champion in her level. So that means that we've had a pretty good year as far as competition goes, and we're excited about next year.
Well, I'd say you've had 30 good years. I mean, being in business 30 years, there's not many small businesses anywhere that can say they've done that. And to see you thriving is even more a testament to you Victoria's commitment to see this really offered out of love and service to the community, because you've changed so many young people's lives here, and there's going to be some stories we'll get to here in a few minutes. But I want to go back to, you mentioned all the championships and the awards. When I walk in here, there are banners everywhere of accomplishments. Is there, walk the viewer through some of the accomplishments that the students have made through the years? You mentioned some just a minute ago.
Well, that's a hard one. I mean, we've gone to multiple meets at multiple levels, and that's the thing about gymnastics. It's just not, you can have a gymnastics team, but you have other teams at multiple levels. So in some years, we might have had, just for instance, a level 3s, a level 4s, level 5s, Excel Platinum, level 7, level 8, to where we would go to a meet and have to wait and watch all those and coach all those kids through competition. So every time we go to a meet, we have an opportunity to win an award, as long as we place in the top 3 to top 5. So, as we look back, one of the things that we always try to do is place in the top 10 at the state championships. Nice. Because one of the things about the competitive program is that everybody operates under different rules as far as their training goes.
Okay.
All right, so some gyms may train for 15 hours a week. Right now, we're only training for about 7.5. And so there's going to be disparaging. Some people hold children back so they can, quote, win. While we have a philosophy that we want to get them into the optional level as quick as possible, and we're not going to make you repeat a level unless it's absolutely necessary for your development. In the early days, we have in 1981 we won the level 3 South Carolina State Championship.
All right, congratulations.
Which was a beginning level, so that was. Then the next year we finished second in the level 2. Back then they only had 4 levels. Now they have way too many. So when people come in, they get a chance to see, the kinds of things that we've done over the years and the places we've been. We've been all the way out to New Orleans and all the way down to West Palm Beach and all the way up to last year we went up to Chantilly, Virginia, and we won the Chantilly Lucky Stars Invitational at the diamond level. So it's been quite a ride, and each team is different.
And I'll have a lot of those pictures on the blog that we're going to write about Dave's business here. Tell me some of the personal stories that I'll tell you. A lot touched my life. So when these young people come through this school and they receive their training, some go to the ultimate levels of accomplishment. Dave's described some of those. Others don't. But they remember what the things that they've learned, and they apply those things. I've got really two questions here, Dave. One, what are some of the attributes that are learned here through the work and through the leadership and through the teaching staff that you have? And secondly, could you give the viewers some examples of where have some of your students gone after they've graduated or have decided to go and do other things?
Sure. Well, first of all, there's got to be a commitment on part of the athlete and the family. This is one of those sports that require year-round training. There's a financial side to it, unlike a lot of the other sports. Also requires travel. We do about 8 competitions a year in order to keep that down. I think that works out best for us. We try, whether or not that your specifically goals are to instill whatever, the things that are going to happen. In order to be a gymnast, you got to have dedication, desire, and some semblance of talent. All right, because talent helps overcome some of the other deficiencies. You got to be patient. You got to have trust in your coaches, and you got to be loyal to a program. So as you look through, and you got to have perseverance, and you got to be willing to put yourself. As I was telling Chris earlier, gymnastics is one of the few sports that if you're going to thrive through what we call our levels, every year is a different challenge. You have to learn a different set of skills. You have to put a different set of skills together in order to achieve the beginning start values for that particular event or level. So it's not like, you get really good at baseball at 12 and you can just kind of develop those skills. Gymnastics, you're having to take a risk every time you step out on the floor. Or any apparatus, because all the apparatus involve flight when you get up a little bit higher. And so I think that's it. And I think that's one of the things about my part, and I talked to Chris earlier about this, is that the risk that these athletes have to take is second to none that I can find. And to be able to coach these girls and provide the training for them to be able to be successful in lieu of that risk and minimize injuries, because we know in athletics there's going to be injuries. I mean, it could be as simple as recently we had our camp, and one of my level 8s, they were working on some different leap combinations, and because it was a little different and she hadn't done it, she kind of tweaked her groin muscle, and so she's down for a little bit. And that's the other thing about gymnastics. You get hurt, something as simple as a sprained ankle, you could lose 2 weeks of training. 2 weeks in training is a lot. Now, Chris asked a little bit about accomplishment. Well, I can't take full credit for it, but what does make you feel good when you see one of your athletes you haven't seen in a long time, or more recently get invited to a wedding, and the parents and the athlete actually appreciate the time that they spent. And a competitive gymnast could be 2 years, or it could be 10. Just depends on what age they were when they're started. And right now, I have 3 athletes that have been training with me for about 8 to 10 years right now. So that's pretty good. Plus, the other side of the coin is, as I told Chris, we've had maybe 6 or 7 actually graduate high school still being a competitive gymnast. So people ask you all the time, what about the Olympics? No, I just wanted to be competing when they finish high school and maybe have the opportunity to go to college if they so desire.
Wait, and what have some of those people done? You told me some great
Some of those
examples.
people, well, I have probably, I haven't lost count. I have 3 that have completed medical school, for sure. I have 1 that is in the Navy, it's still finishing her residency. We have a naval dentist that just got selected to go to Johns Hopkins for a program in oral facial reconstruction,
genital.
surgery. We just had the most decorated gymnast and a graduating senior be commissioned tomorrow as a 2nd lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps, which is a very great accomplishment. We have others that have gone into business. We had one young lady that lived in Chile for 6 years, working in an international business in Chile, and she's now in Atlanta, I believe. Lawyers, doctors, nurses, teachers, and of course some that are housewives. I mean, it's just a litany of successful athletes that have all gone on to do things, and every once in a while they'll come by and say hi.
Well, and what's amazing to me when I look at and hear those type of stories are, it's not just the skill level that gymnastics reflect, but it's the life skills that are being taught here that Dave referenced earlier. I think the combination is why so many parents are interested in seeing their children go into gymnastics if they're interested. And Dave, you've got everything set up. I mean, this is a first-rate shop. Everything is set up not only for your clients, but now you've got it set up to where you can hold tournaments and other things like that here too.
Yes, and that's important because
yeah.
that will help us offset some of the unexpected costs when we got into this. So that's what we're looking at. And plus, the other thing it does, allows the community to come out and see these hard-charging athletes. It also allows the family to have that competitive experience at a lot lower rate. And I think that's the smart man's move to help his clients and help the gymnastics community.
Well, I'd like to just, end. I know this would be your natural style anyway, to give other people credit, but, the accomplishments that you've described, you mentioned Victoria. Who are some of the other people that work here that are responsible for the successes that you've described?
Well, I mean, over the years, you know, we pride ourselves in providing opportunity for military wives who have a gymnastics background or an interest in gymnastics to have a job.
That's cool.
Probably my best buddy was Grace Hemingway, who came to me as a 20-year-old pregnant wife with a 2-year-old whose husband was a drill instructor, and over 7 years we developed a wonderful working relationship, and then finally he got reassigned permanently to Cornell University, and she went up there and was able to be the assistant gymnastics coach and choreographer for Cornell University. And subsequently, she has gone on and is in the, I think it's the Johnson School for Business, and she runs basically continuing education programs for businesses. So
Wow.
we're really proud of her.
Sure.
You know, so, and my son, Jamie, who is the director, has been working with me for 8 years. And I can also say that in our preschool program, we hired my former wife, Cheryl Kraft, who's a retired elementary school teacher, and she's helped us out immensely. Currently, we have a staff, let's see who we got. Our office manager, which is really a key portion of any business, Nicole Cleland. We lost Madison Hoffer. One of our coaches is now a Air Force, probably first class of the Air Force, and she is in Monterey, California, and will hopefully graduate in February from their Chinese language school. So it's no telling what these people do once they leave me. It's got quite interesting to follow them around.
Well, let's talk about how do people get in touch with you. So what's your website? What's your Facebook?
Sure.
So everybody knows that.
Our website's sportsacademygym.com. Facebook is Sports Academy Gymnastics. Easiest way to get in touch is off the website. Email address is sagymBFT@gmail. We have our fall registration starting on Monday. We're changing over our software package, so we got to make sure we got it online. So we'll be looking for new students and returning students that weren't with us for our summer program. And we're looking forward to getting our certificate of occupancy so that we will be able to get the air conditioners turned on and all the lights on so we can use this facility as it was meant to be.
Well, thank you so much for this amount of your time to tell
no
us
problem.
about this side of your life. And
It's a big part.
It is 30 years, and it is as impactful in many ways to so many people. You've served our country in your military service, and now you're serving the community by providing all of the resources that are available here through Sports Academy Gym. So thank you for all that you've done for our country and for our local.
Thanks again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.